the Yard of Bricks. That's all you need to know to figure out where we are. Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the first of 2 doubleheader races to wrap up the season in the TC America Championship. Hi everybody, I'm Greg Creamer, joined by Calvin Fish with Ryan Marine alongside. This is essentially for the TCR and the TCA categories, round 15, and for the for the TCR and TCA, and then for the TC class, it is round 13. They are all running together, Cal. 34 cars on this track here. I think this is going to be an amazing race. You take a look at the starting lineup as they're out for their formation laps, and 3 different categories in it. They mix things up.
They really do, and championships could be decided here in the first round of a doubleheader weekend. Tyler Macton has already clinched the TCR class on the back of 11 wins, but he'll start this race from down in 7th position. Scott Smithson on the pole on the back of 3 victories this summer. He's looking to round out the season on a high, but the big battle is in touring car. James Clay has the pole, and he has the lead in the championship by 34 points. If he finishes in the first 2 today, he seals the deal, whatever Toby Grahovic does. But if Grahovic should win, Clay has a bad day. It should set up a nice race for tomorrow for the title.
And there's going to be an interloper, if you will, in that championship. Johann Schwartz, who, of course, won the championship last year. They had that big incident at Road America, the car badly damaged. They tried to get it fixed for the second stop at Circuit of the Americas. The car still wasn't right. They've switched to the secondary car, and the team got permission to run just a different car. And Johann took a hit in practice. The team fixed that, and he ended up qualifying in the front row in the TC category. So he's going to be in there battling as well. He's not in that championship hunt, but he's going to be a player as well. And you know, you take a look at the TCA category. Eric Powell, who we haven't seen racing all year long, but has spent a lot of time racing in TCA for Tech Sport outside of the front row.
Yeah, he could be the spoiler because Kevin Boehm leads this championship. He sits on the pole. He has a 31-point margin over Thomas Mejia based on 5 consecutive victories that he put together this summer. And this is one track that owes him one, he feels. He won 4 SCCA national titles. The one that got away in recent years was here at Indy, Greg.
Yeah, it was a tough one for him. He, as you said, he'd won 2 in the STU category, came into Indy with a new car built for the STL category. It's called Super Touring Lights. Qualified it on the outside of the front row, and then early in the race had a DNF, and it just gutted him. And he said, 1, it made me work harder as a driver. It made me even more precise as an engineer. And it lit the fire to come back, and has he ever with this season. Speaking of comebacks, how about Tristan Herbert, the new German performance, Audi running in the TCR category. They came and ran at VIR, and Tristan was able to get a podium finish in that one start, and they are back for this one. And what a qualifying run he put in. Scott Smithson getting his 2nd pole of the year, but Tristan Herbert outside of the front row, and that balancing that they've done between the DSG cars that run a different gearbox than the Synchro cars seems to really now becoming good.
I think it really showcases Tristan Herbert's ability.
Yes.
As Audi Motorsports manager here in North America, but it also showcases that some of the older TCR cars, even though this class is relatively new, the DSG cars, can still be competitive. So there's been a lot of work done in the background with Jim Jordan and the whole group there with this TC class to really showcase, listen, if you have a DSG car, we're going to do some balance of performance to make that car competitive, and that showcases itself in qualifying when they putting that car up on the front row.
Absolutely, and then it's an all Alfa Romeo Giulietta row 2 for the KMW Motorsports with TMR Engineering duo, and Roy Block has been very quick this year, has had some great runs. Tim Lewis had 1 previous appearance on a weekend and was very quick as well. So I think those 2 Alphas are going to have something to deal with here as we get ready to go green. Now, this is a 40-minute timed event, no pit stops, no driver changes, and we are about ready to set this race underway. One more race coming up tomorrow to wrap the season up, but this is going to play a big role in those championship battles. Boy, coming up, late green, and away we go. And what a move right there by Olivia Askew, but it was covered beautifully. Here come the touring car field as they pick up the green flag. And Smithson in that blue and white machine, but look at the move by Lewis. He might be going from that 2nd row right to the lead. He does, Cal.
He does, and Tristan Herbert didn't have the best start initially, but dug deep, and oh, the car's turned there. 5 car is around, that's Roy Block. Very cold out here this morning. Ambient temperatures only now at 45 degrees, so the track temperature's low as well. Oh, that's really tight there as they get down, trying to go 3 abreast through turn 4. Little touch.
Well, I'll tell you what, as the green flag flies here for the TCA category, and and a touch there. Powell got tipped by one of the minis. I think it was the number 60 of Mejia, and he's been knocked around. But Boehm able to lead through, but now Powell has to effect a restart here and get going. But I think what happened in that TC start, it looked like Schwartz went around the outside and into the lead.
Gonzalez is around.
By Victor Gonzalez. Boy, these cold temperatures really catching. Drivers out, and a big moment there, a spin right in front of champ Tyler Maxson.
The Askew, I think it was, had a spin. It's really hard with these TCR machines, front-wheel drive, to get any rear temperature in them. And that's the problem for the drivers, is up front. Tim Lewis Jr., nice start there. Our pole sitter, Scott Smithson, settling in. Followed by Tristan Herbert. So 3 different manufacturers running in the top 3 right now.
And with block spin now, it's given them a huge margin back to the rest of the field. So it's down to these 3 and Smithson. You can see Lewis trying to protect to the inside. Smithson in that Quello DXDT Honda. Good legs down that front straight. But Barber able to fend him off. And look at the move by Tristan Herbert down to the inside at the exit of turn 1. Just ran out of track.
Yeah, Tristan's got that Audi working really well. It's really carving through the corners nicely. Seems like it's come up to speed a little bit quicker than the cars in front of him. This has allowed, that little battle there through turn 2 has allowed Lewis to scamper away just a little bit, take the pressure off maybe down into the brake zone.
Now, as I understand, these TCR cars have a big handbrake that works on the rear wheels that they use for standing starts and the like. I wonder if Lewis was maybe dragging that a little bit, trying to get some heat. And look at this now, Clay trying to get down to the inside of a fast-starting Johann Schwartz. Schwartz not going to give it up easy. They're side by side through 7. Schwartz the inside of 8. Clay, he wants to get to the lead, but he also knows I'm in a championship battle, and Johann's going to fight hard. He's going for wins.
Grahovic to the flank as well. They're the 2 championship contenders, Clay and Grahovic right now. They're the only 2 that can win the championship. Johann Schwartz wants to finish off this season on a high. That start line incident at Road America turned his season upside down. They dug deep with the chassis that was repaired, switched to a backup car for this weekend. That's got him back in the game.
I tell you, good run early here as well by Mike Lamara in the LA Honda World Honda Civic Type R that Honda is building to become sort of the answer to BMW's M240IR, a turnkey touring car, TC class car, and he's having a really good run right there in 4th and extremely close to these guys up front. Again, Clay takes a look. He got the motivation, and behind him, Grahovic was thinking of going with him here. Oh, and a touch right there.
Yeah, Johann just took the brakes in a little bit deeper than James, tried to get to the apex, little nudge by James. He's not afraid to do that. He'll rub elbows with you if you want to play.
Oh, you bet he will. And Johann will rub right back, so this could be a very entertaining battle. And I think for Clay, he needs to be, or does he, a little careful with things, because you don't want to get taken out here by something and have Grahovic go through and win this.
Well, I think the key for me would be that 70% mark. Make sure you score some points here today to be classified and then go racing in the last third of the race. But nonetheless, it seems like James just wants to go out and win and let the championship take care of itself. He has a big margin, 34 points. He'd have to go completely sideways on it to lose it right now, but anything can happen.
Absolutely. Here is TCA. That's Mark Pombo, who currently sits 2nd in the TCA category. There's Kevin Boehm in that black hooded, beautiful pole-sitting Honda Civic SI, the AWS CrowdStrike machine. And boy, has he gone on a tear as of late with poles and wins.
Yeah, he's really been the man to beat in this class this year. And I think most importantly, Greg, he hasn't finished outside the top 4 all season long. So even though they had some cooling, some technical issues early in the year, just used his experience and poise to really still collect points. Then when they got it right and the car got into its zone, then he put the wins together, and thus giving him the lead.
Watching here, it's the 29 of Olivia Askew in her DXDT machine now, TCR entry. She's trying to recover from that early spin. And fair difference in horsepower between a TCR and a TCA machine.
Yeah.
So she should be able to easily just gap, and shouldn't be an issue for Kevin to deal with at any stage here.
Herbert's up to second, got Ryan Smithson there, so he's now starting to put the pressure on our leader, Tim Lewis Jr.
I haven't seen a lot of Tristan running races as of late. Started off, I remember announcing him at an event at Road Atlanta called the ARC, the American Road Racing Champions, which was acknowledged as the IT, the Improved Touring National Championship, regional class national championships, and he was a standout there. Not a surprise that when he moved up and did some pro racing, he was right at it, and he has remained ever quick, even though he's not racing as much. He's more in the management role nowadays.
He is, did a couple of the races at VIR, had a podium run there, so immediately out of the box showcased the potential, and here had the summer to work on the car a little bit, and comes back even stronger for this final race weekend of 2020.
New German performance, using this entry essentially to let people know just what the quality of that company's race prep, high performance engineering. Ooh, really close there as Smithson back through on Herbert. And you can see it looks like that DXDT Quello Honda maybe just a little bit more in top end.
Yeah, right, the last 100 yards of the straightaway there just seemed to eke out enough to swing over to apex and claim it. Tristan had to get up and over the curb to avoid contact. And that's what I love about this racetrack, Greg, is that the curbs that have been installed here really allow you a little bit more racing room. Certainly the stewards are on top of abusing that. You've got to be having at least one Pirelli P0 touching it when you come through some of the exit curbing. But it's very usable and makes it really racer friendly.
And it has produced, we've had GT4 races already here this weekend, and they have been just superb. I think this track suits GT machinery and I think touring car machinery incredibly well.
It does, and we've seen some battles that'll go for 3 or 4 corners without needing to touch each other. So that's what racing is all about. Is now we see Gonzalez there. He was the man to beat in this championship in that 57 car. And suddenly the season just went upside down for him at Road America, where he basically scored 0 points. And that means that he's not in contention for this championship here today.
Yeah, he's not. As a matter of fact, now PJ Gronke, who former champion in the TCB category, has worked his way up and through, and he is the second car in the line here. Running third in the TCA category right now, behind Mark Pombo, Tomas Mejia, and Gonzalez really trying to figure out what to do on a way through here. And Clay Williams, who got an opportunity to race in this championship at Sonoma, was immediately right on the pace, a longtime friend, karting rival of Mejia's, and that's how the connection happened. Missed the most recent round at Circuit of the Americas, but made it back here. But Gronke doing just a superb job. Here is that battle we're talking about with Schwartz out front in the touring cars. The Pork Snacks, Optima Batteries, Bimmer World entry of points leader Clay second, and Toby Grahovic in the classic BMW machine sitting in third.
I have to wonder, with Eric Powell being on site here competing, obviously he had that first corner moment, but having him on board with us really helped the Tech Sport Racing team get these cars dialed in. We know how quick Eric is, and certainly PJ there, his car looked to be working really well.
I think that's a very good point, having him go out really, he's just a real talent, Powell is, and having him be able to sort things. This big look there at the CJ Moses, who had a spin as well early in this race in his AWS CrowdStrike Honda, so trying to recover. He's back a little bit here, but working his way up through the field.
This is Pombo who leads, so we were talking about Schwartz, Clay, Grahovic going for it. Right now is showing Pombo leading in touring cars, so he must have snuck through there on that opening schmozzle and gapped everyone to the point that we thought he wasn't in the fight.
Yeah, and that's Matt Pombo, brother to Mark, who's running in TCA. There's Victor Gonzalez trying to recover after his spin, and the Fiabrews Magic VGMC Honda Civic Type R. So
Pombo's been quick this weekend. He qualified in 5th position in class, just 7/10 off of the pole position time, but obviously had a mega first lap. escaped the battle, and we didn't see him. I just looked at time and score and realized, hey, he's leading.
Yeah, well, we were focused on what was going on. I was with Schwartz working his way around Clay and the like, and they got bottled up clearly. And you see James Clay going into turn 1. He knew Victor was coming. He did not want Victor to get between himself and Schwartz, and he just moved over and parked Victor. That's a pretty savvy move by somebody reading what's going on with traffic in a slower class and not letting himself get impeded. Eventually, though, Victor's going to get by again. A lot more power in those TCR machines.
There is, and right now as it sits, if James Clay finishes in front of Grohovic, that'll maintain at least the points margin he came in with, and that's more than enough to seal the title. So Grohovic has to make something happen here. He needs some magic. But he seems to have been the car that's had the momentum this last few races, Greg. A couple of wins, really showcasing what a great job that the classic BMW group do.
Ooh, and Victor straight off. Now coming to a stop. You have to sit there and be very careful before you rejoin.
Car on pit lane there.
Yeah, that's Max Peichel. His first appearance in the championship. Fortunate to see him having those issues. Trying to gather back up and get going again here.
Just thinking about how this TC lead developed, maybe with the spinning TCR cars, that was how Pombo got through and escaped the pack.
Oh, look at this now. Already leaders into some traffic here, and Smithson thought about taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I love the overlap with multi-class racing. Always provide some fireworks.
That real rhythmic and flowing section of S's from 7 through 10. Boy, Lewis is just hooked up. It hasn't run the whole season, but runs a whole season. Open up problem there for the 60 of Mark Pombo, who was second. No, that's the 60 of Mejia.
Yeah, he's one of our championship contenders, so if he has issues, that could seal the title for Kevin Boehm. Let's take a look at what happened here. Gets down to the inside.
Oh, boy.
Wow, that is spectacular. It's putting on a show. We've got fans here today.
Up on the bike.
I wonder whether it came down, has just disrupted something electronically or something within the chassis.
It very well could.
Came down with such a thump, and where that car is stranded, that could be a problem.
And that's one of the STEM Mini USA machines, the Service Technician Education, and the STEP, I should say, Service Technician Education Program cars. A great leg up in training to become a service tech for Mini, and also BMW has a similar program.
Roy Block here trying to recover from that spin. So 6 podiums on the year, and he's been very busy running in a couple of championships, so lots of seat time. And that's really showcasing his consistent speed that we're seeing towards the back end of the season.
And Lewis here runs with that.
Ooh.
Oh, that
stuck his nose in somewhere there.
Yeah. Really close to PJ Gronke. Continues to run in third. Now Lewis able to get through, and here comes Smithson.
And Gronke doesn't want to give up too much track here, because he's chasing down that Mini up in front of him of Pombo.
And he's got a margin back to Gonzalez that he doesn't want to have just go away either. So Smithson now, Herbert sweep around the outside of the 61 of Mark Pombo as he sits second.
I know the Pombo brothers have had a lot of success, but right now they run first in one class, second in another. I'm not sure they've ever swept a weekend.
That would be pretty impressive, and certainly not out of the realm of possibilities here. Here we go back to this battle. And there is a look at the always smiling Canadian. Great to have PJ in this championship as always. And you look at all of the decals on the side of that car. Every one of them is a small number sponsor. Problem here now for Block, and that could be left over from a touch in that spin, perhaps.
Yes.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Just lets go there. I think that might be down Holman Boulevard.
I think you're right. It was clearly cut or damaged in that contact, and eventually it's just going to let go.
Problem with that is there's probably debris on the race circuit, so A, does he find a safe haven to get the car to, and B, do they want to do a cleanup to avoid any other cars cutting down tires as well? Looked like he was offline. I think he was driver's left coming down the straightaway, which is a little bit offline.
His teammate Lewis still leads overall in TCR going back now.
Go look at the top 10
All right, Mejia has made it down into pit lane. Ryan?
Yeah, it sounds like it's a clutch issue on the car. Louis Pericarpi says that it smells like a clutch as well. He just came and whispered that in my ear. So that was their speculation. That's what the driver was saying on track. This is a big hit for a guy who really came into his own this season. We saw what he could do last year, but had a breakthrough win this season. It really went on a tear in the middle portion of the season. Looked like he had a championship lined up, but the end of the season has not been kind to Tomas Mejia and this lap team.
No, it certainly hasn't. We've had a big moment here, Ryan, down in turn 1, as Lewis and Smithson have had a coming together. Both of them are off into the middle of the exit here. Smithson way hot down to the inside.
Yeah, just got it completely wrong there, just overcommitted. Big damage to the left front, you can see already. Both cars will not see any further action here today. Not sure what happened there, whether he had some kind of brake failure, but he was carrying way too much speed there trying to clear traffic. Down to the inside, looked like he didn't even slow down at all.
You can see it just literally sheared the spokes of the wheel right off of Lewis's Alfa Giulietta.
Sure, we're going to be course yellow here. I'm not sure.
There's going to be much option here unless they ended up way off track. But that now is going to promote Tristan Herbert, into the lead. And CJ Moses will move up into second. Gonzalez will be third. Yeah, and you can see Smithson making the move, and then I think he realized, oh, this is not going to work. He tried to get down behind the curb, anything he could do, and it was just at that point. And when you get into the ABS on a car now, these are not running the endurance level of racing. So there's a regulation that used to be in play that if it's less than an hour race, is no ABS, and if it's more than that, you have to run it. But either way, it looked like he just got in way too hot for the brakes to do the job.
Yeah, I feel there had to be a technical issue. Here you see Tim Lewis Jr. He's not happy with Scott Smithson. Let's see if Scott tries to explain to him I had a technical failure or not. If there wasn't a technical failure, then he missed his braking point by a long way. No, this is not good. They need to calm it down a little bit. A lot of damage to the race cars, unfortunately.
Yeah, Lewis pretty frustrated here. And obviously Smithson probably, unless it was just a complete error, if it was something technical on the car, he may not even know really what happened. Here's another look at it.
He just comes from so far back. See him getting the wave by there by Kevin Boehm, so Tim Lewis clears him. And Smithson right there will be where he's hitting the brakes. You see the front come down, so he had some braking, but I think he just missed it completely in terms of his braking point. Slightly different part of the road. Just absolutely T-bones Tim Lewis Jr.
Well, I wonder if Smithson he did not want to get trapped behind Boehm either. He wanted to get through, and I think if he was watching Boehm and missed the braking point, I think. And Lewis understandably frustrated. I mean, it was leading and looking very impressive.
He had a nice margin, and everything was looking good for Alfa Romeo to get that first win, which would have been important for the brand as well.
And now
big
both
reset.
of them. Yeah, and with blocks issues too, neither of them out there competing right now. And the new German performance Audi Sport RS3 LMS, Tristan Herbert.
It's going to be a wave by as well, so you can have all of the TCR cars stacked back up. So this will bring Olivia Askew back into the picture as well. So Brian Sellers, when we got that shot, the DXDT racing team up on the pit box, talking to her via the radio. He's been coaching and mentoring her over the last few rounds. And she will be back in with a shot at this.
Oh, absolutely she will. Meanwhile, Ryan is down in the mini pits.
Indeed, actually, Louis Pericarpi, the LAP Motorsports team, they're running the minis as we're used to, but they also are heavily involved with Honda, and we see them running here as well. So, Louis, we'll start on the mini side. We just saw a heartbreak for Tomas. You and I just both saw the replay of him up on 2 wheels. He's had a great season, but maybe the championship looks a little bit bleak at the moment with him behind the wall.
Sure, you know, that's a big blow for Tomas. You know, the chances of a driver's championship wasn't really good to come here. The Honda's really fast. You know, Bohm's been really fast, and we knew we were going to have to chase him. And he's still fast. Like, we have nothing for him. I don't think anybody has anything for him. But yeah, you saw the replay. You know, Tomas looked like he was at the circus, you know, on 2 wheels there for a while. And I think something broke on the car when it landed. You know, maybe, I mean, it looks like he has a clutch problem, but I'm assuming when he was on 2 wheels for that long of a time, and then when it landed, something must have broke in the gearbox, probably the clutch. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you've long been associated with the brothers Pombo. You've got one in each class, one in a mini, one in a Honda, one in first, and one in second, I think, right now. So let's transition, I suppose, to the Honda side of things. You've been working on this program for a little bit and really able to showcase how good these cars can be with a pro in the car like you have today.
Yeah, ever since the minis had to leave IMSA and we came to the SRO, we partnered up with Honda to stay in IMSA. And then now with the TC cars, you know, we have both of those TC cars to develop to help put up their front. And when you have the Pombos in our cars, whether it's a Mini or a Honda, you know, we have some of the best drivers, a lot of experience, and our LAP Motorsports resume has been very successful with the Pombos in the cars. And you know, today shows again, you know, Matt had a great start in the TC class. You know, it was mayhem, but, you know, with experience, he knows where to put the car. He predicted what was going on and was able to put a big gap in it. Although it's under yellow, so it packed up, so he's going to have all those BMWs on his tail. We'll see how that goes. But, you know, the car's new this year for most of the guys that are competing in it, and we've been working really hard these last 2 races to get it up to speed, and obviously it's showing the results today.
As we continue under yellow, this is a home race for you and your team. You're located not too far from here, and you're used to working at this track. You guys pitch in on the IndyCar side from time to time.
Yeah, we are normally here every year with Del Coyne for the 500, and normally we help him on a 3rd car here and there throughout the seasons. And you know, it's kind of cool. Yes, our race shop and my home is about 15-20 miles from here on the west side. You know, I know this place really well in open wheel, not in touring cars. So it was kind of cool to come here to our home track, being Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You know, and so I told the guys it's like it'd be really cool that, you know, we haven't been able to get a trophy in open wheel. Maybe we can do it in our own team with our own touring cars. And you know, Matt's in a good spot. We'll see. You know, he's got some pretty heavy hitters behind him in the BMWs there. So, you know, a podium would be nice, but a first place would be amazing at Indy, at home. I would love to have that trophy in our trophy case back at the shop.
We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks. Thank you.
There is a good look at that number 73. And tell you, Pombo doing just a absolutely marvelous job here in that LA Honda World Honda Civic Type R.
Looking at the fastest laps of the day, he's a second clear of the field, Greg, so forget about an opening lap that gave him that position. He's doing it on pace as well. Wow,
that is impressive. And that's the good news, is obviously then when everything packs up, assuming they do this wave around, and Gonzalez Jr. is out from between them, and he won't be there for long anyway if they don't, because he'll just accelerate through with the horsepower advantage. But Pombo looking pretty good. Mike Lamara doing a nice job too. Both of those cars from LA Honda World up in the top 5.
A big day for them, so certainly we're seeing Hondas in the mix in the TCR class, so great parity it seems between a lot of the manufacturers represented here.
Well, and I think it's just a great idea for any manufacturers, and certainly Honda believes in it, to create that turnkey TC class car. I mean, look what happened with BMW when they came out initially with the 235 IR. It just filled the class, and now the 240 IR doing the same thing. So if Honda can showcase what the car is capable of, and they're doing it here, that's a big story. Take a look at what's unfolded thus far in the race. From pole, Smithson led down into one, but not at the exit of it, as a beautiful move by Lewis right around the outside. And then that touch, Olivia Askew in the number 5 a block, and that probably damaged that left front tire.
Yeah, and then the TCA cars come into the same corner. Watch Eric Powell there go for the apex. 2 mini series inside, just gets turned around as well.
So he's got work to do, digging himself back up through the pack. And then a couple of more spins. Luis Gonzalez and Victor Gonzalez in the background going around, and right there, Olivia Askew going around and almost collecting our new champ, Maxon. And then this circus moment.
Yeah, Thomas Mejia up on 2 wheels as he tried to navigate turn 12 there, and it shuts the car down. Then a tire blowout for Block. Maybe it was a result of getting a little bit of damage from an earlier incident, and then a big one right here. Smithson just gets the braking all wrong, or had a technical failure, and gets into our leader and ruins the day for both of them. Neither one of them really happy about this.
Yeah, some pretty intense discussion unfolding there. And again, don't really know, as you said, was it just a mistake? Was it something technical? An issue with the braking system? And it looked to me like Block had already sensed something was not right with that tire, because he was way farther down Holman Boulevard that you'd be that far to the left. Something, he knew something was up.
Yeah, probably had lost pressure and then was just trying to get it back to pit lane, and it let go. But there's a lot of debris out there from that explosion, and then the consequent bodywork that got ruptured as well. So see it there.
Yeah.
Right of our screen as we're looking left side of the straightaway. So these teams and drivers have to be very careful they don't start trying to weave over on that side of the racetrack. You'll cut down a tire, I would think.
Yeah, without question. I just want to make mention here, because they've had such an up and down season. The number 18 of Caleb Bacon, the CB Motorsports Hyundai Veloster Turbo, started at the very back of the field after some more technical issues here, and he's just put in a really stout drive and has worked his way up to 8th in a pretty sizable and packed TCA crowd. And Matt Forbush, who is his teammate, sits in the 10th spot. And those Signal, there they are, there is Caleb in the Signal, again the Hyundai Velosters. And they've had great speed at times during the season, but they've also had some reliability issues. And they're both having good runs after some problematic issues in qualifying today. And it's been great to have CB, and that's Chad Bacon Motorsports, in the paddock, his son Caleb racing. And if that name Bacon sounds familiar, yes indeed. Chad's dad is a guy named Al Bacon, who's a tremendous history throughout the years in sports car racing. And so Caleb doing an absolutely beautiful job here.
Well, I tell you what, with this reset, watch for Eric Powell. He's currently 6th in class, but looking at his fastest lap times of a 41.2 compared to Boehm, the leader, a 42 flat. Pombo at a 43.1. So Powell's got speed to spare here, and he now has a little bit of time on the clock. Hopefully we'll get back to racing him maybe the next lap, and then he can go charge down, maybe grab a podium on his return. Here we see that wave around.
Yeah, he's fast. We've watched him. As you take a look here, one of our new graphic developments that we absolutely love with our association with AWS is Race Vision, powered by AWS. Lots of data flows up into the AWS cloud, then there's elements within the cloud that tweak it and send it back down with these great graphics for us. And you can see top speeds. Tristan Herbert has some pretty good straight line speed here.
Yeah, very strong. Which is, when we looked at it in reality, it looked like Smithson, coming down into turn 1 at least, had a little bit more than Herbert. So just really depends on where that is being grabbed from, that data. But great to have that information to us. And looked like Gonzalez got around there. You see he'll line up right behind CJ Moses, and I think Olivia Askew and Lima were just trying to take their time and get back with the TCR pack here safely. Here she's got to be careful, because she's going to run right through that debris.
Yeah.
That's not good.
And there she is, gets to the back of it, and Vinny Lima, his teammate to Tristan Herbert for New German Performance. And Lima, in terms of the experience curve, is about as opposite as Tristan as it gets. This is his first time running pro racing of any sort at VIR, and real active in what's called the high performance driving experience events, and Audi Club holds a lot of those, and Vinny's really adept at that, but doesn't have a lot of experience here in the actual door-to-door competition, so doing a very nice job out there. Here's a look at Powell, as you pointed out. And lights are out. We are going green this time with about 9 minutes to go. As the Acura NSX, the official safety vehicle of SRO Motorsports America, ducks into pit lane, and leading him around, Tristan Herbert.
There's the acceleration zone right there, right through turn 14. He's at liberty to go right now.
He's bringing him along nice and slowly, though.
Cannot pass until you cross the stripe, so if you get a run, you got to be careful.
And there we go, across the stripe. There's the green. Olivia moving to the outside. And you can see there CJ Moses trying to protect on Gonzalez.
Olivia takes it in really deep, gets to the outside of Gonzalez. This is going to tighten up here through turn 2.
Yep.
Just leans on him a little bit, just clears him. Nice job, Olivia.
Nice job. Well, she's fearless. Very early in her driving career, but she's a competitor, a former junior world champion in free mountain downhill skiing, and no gates, just down a mountainside, so fear's not really something she's too associated with here. And now she's attacking on CJ Moses as an AWS CrowdStrike entry, sitting second in the TCR category.
So they're just focused totally on CJ, just getting the car turned in. Looked like she wanted to roll a little bit more speed there through turn 7. Tire temps are up now.
Gonzalez, you know, hungry for a result. 2 wins last year, but none so far this year. It's been a rough season for Victor.
Yeah, I'd say that's been the biggest surprise after that brilliant year that they put together in 2019. To see him not in victory lane this year has been a surprise.
He is truly really quick, no question. Is a master of tire management, but that long caution, that's not really, I don't think, going to come into play much.
Tristan Herbert has skipped away here a little bit. Now it's a great battle for the 2 podium positions between the DXDT racing teammates of CJ Moses and Olivia Askew. Gonzalez, quick spin here for the 94 car.
Chandler Hull, that TAC Energy machine. He's had a bit of a rough weekend here. Look at this scrum of cars as they come through here. Keeping an eye on what's going on in the TCA category. Still Boehm leading Pombo, Gronke sitting in second, and here's the touring car class. Whoa, oh, Clay! Snuck through, thought he had an opportunity, and then the back end just skated around on him. I don't think there was a touch there, Cal. I think he just was a little bit too tight.
You know what, that's probably going to keep the championship open till tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Still an outside shot for Toby Grahovic here. Needs to try and make as much hay as he can right now with the problem for the championship leader.
Taking a look here.
Grahovic's down the road, so
yes,
right now
is.
Pombo continues to lead Grahovic. Then we're looking at Schwartz there going through the pitch right now in 3rd position. And Clay is buried deep in the field.
Yeah, so now Lamara is right up behind Johann Schwartz.
This is going to be a big swing in the points with James Clay coming in with a 34-point margin, but now very much on the back foot with not much time to play with.
I think that we may have just seen Powell. He moved up a couple of spots, but I think he was just off track, possibly. Could have been 3rd driver, Kevin Anderson, the team principal. He's a pretty good wheel man when he gets the opportunity to get there and have a little bit of fun. Big field. I think that is Lamar, then Bloom right behind
this
him.
action down the front straightaway.
That's Powell. Yep, that's Powell coming after Gonzalez, as you talked about. And Clay Williams in the yellow mini as well.
This is awesome stuff. Tech Sport are very much got some quick cars here. The Subarus are really performing well as Schwartz is up and all over the curbs there, trying to fight through this TCA traffic. So the TCRs move to the front, but it means on a restart you got TC cars in a mix with the TCA cars. That always makes it a little bit spicy.
37 there is Lamara, teammate to leader Pombo, right in the mix. Gonzalez and these TCA machines, they're in their own battle. They're not just going to open the door up and let one of their competitors slice through. Now, just the horsepower advantage of the TC machines. Oh, Johan deep on the brakes, down inside the Yellow Mini of Clay Williams. As he continues to run, as you said, in that third spot, that gives him a little bit of breathing room back to Lamara. He's feeling huge pressure from Phil Bloom.
Clay is down in the 10th position. That only gives him a single point. Grahovic running in second. That's 18 points. That's a 17-point swing right now. Basically halves the gap that James Clay had of 34 points coming into this race today.
That is just an incredible development here in this championship chase. As you said, with only 4 minutes remaining, it's definitely going to keep this championship not just alive going into the season finale tomorrow, but much closer.
Well, you could imagine the most that Clay can jump up the order is maybe 2 or 3 positions, and he's got to work cut out to do that with a lot of very competitive BMWs right in front of him. There's Grahovic running in the second position. Pombo continues to lead for Honda.
Up front, just want to make a note here. The last lap fastest of the TCR cars was CJ Moses. And that's Ruben Iglesias. That's the touring car entry from Fia Bruce Motorsports and Magic. And he's been some pretty significant contact there of some sort. Hood up. And that might, depending upon where he ended up, that might end up with a full course caution as well. We'll have to see here. There's Boehm, sort of off by himself right now, isn't he? And here's a look. Clay Williams having a coming together of some sort.
There's cars everywhere down there right now as a parking lot.
Yeah. Trying to figure out, was that...
This has got to go yellow. It's right in a potential impact zone down there, I believe, Greg.
I agree. I was trying to figure out which of the tech sport cars was down there. I think it might, well, I don't want to speculate. There is Tristan Herbert with
CJ Moses up on the wheel.
I was saying,
he is pushing hard.
He just 2 laps ago, he ran the fastest lap of the entire TCR group. He is right there.
Brilliant performance. He's escaped Gonzalez.
Yep. Gonzalez has gone around now, and Olivia Askew. And Olivia must have had another moment because Vinny Lima is now up into 4th. Olivia was racing hard with Gonzalez.
CJ Moses is just hoping that they stay green here for this final couple of laps.
Give himself an opportunity. It's been fun watching his progression. Again, fairly new, just did a few races last year in the GT4 category and first foray into any kind of pro racing.
Be a big day for the CrowdStrike group.
Oh boy, wouldn't it?
With Kevin Boehm leading in class, and if he wins today, that will seal the title for him with the margin that he came in with as well.
Boehm's got a margin of 3+ seconds over Pombo, who's got another nice margin back to Gronke. So CJ right now. There is Victor Gonzalez.
See white flag this time by for our leader, Tristan Herbert. Been a while since Tristan's won a big race like this, so to win at Indy would be special.
And there's the margin. Boy, CJ is close and he's quick. Gonzalez sits there in the 3rd spot. Gonzalez 9 podiums this year.
Local yellow only. They're keeping it green.
Those cars are a ways away, I guess. So here we go, final lap. Tristan Herbert leading from CJ Moses. Then Gonzalez, Askew, and Lima completing the TCR field. Pombo over Grahovic and Schwartz in the TC category.
CJ's got to run. He is closer. Tristan's got to dig deep and rely on that experience from many moons ago when he was running regularly. Felt these emotions in a long time. Can he bring it home?
Boy, CJ is up on that wheel though, doing everything he can.
This is awesome to watch, just to see CJ's development over this championship season. Him with the shadow victory here today.
Yeah, it's really great. That Liqui Moly Audi down in, a little wide of the apex there into turn 12. This is it. You got to get this corner right. It's a drag race out of here to the finish line. And in their second appearance in the championship this season, New German Performance and Audi with Tristan Herbert coming to the line. CJ's got a run, but it's not enough, and Herbert wins it. A podium at VIR, a win in their second appearance, but for CJ Moses, a second place. By far and away his best performance, and he was racy at the end. Victor Gonzalez adds his 10th podium of the season and comes through. In the TC category, there is Matt Pombo for LA Honda World in the Honda Civic TC as he floats it through turn number 14. And in only their second appearance of the season, they come through LA Honda World and Honda with a win in the touring car category. But in terms of the championship, Toby Grahovic comes through in second, Cal. Schwartz gets another podium, but Lamara, Bloom, Lou, Capizzi, Slonecker, then Clay. And Clay did get around Slonecker, so Clay ends up in 8th. So that's still a pretty big point swing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 14-point swing, so it brings it down to 20 unofficially going into the final round tomorrow. So from 34 down to 20. Clay needs to have big drama tomorrow to not clinch the title, but he'll be sweating it tonight.
And Boehm comes through and wins in the TCA category. That should be a championship clinch. And boy, has he put together a season, Kevin has, with Pombo. That's Mark now in the second spot in the category. And then PJ Gronke hasn't been able to put that full season together this year. One, he's Canadian, so travel restrictions coming from Canada, and two, just some budget. As I said, you look at the myriad decals on the side of PJ's car. Every one of those is a small donation sponsor, and he treats them all like they're the title sponsor of the program. He's pretty special, and so is Mr. Boehm. And I think after that miss in the runoffs here in 2017, that kept him from having a great 5-for-5 run at the runoffs that happened here at Indy. I think this will be a little salve for that wound.
Yeah, he was pretty much untouchable here today. What a way to go out in style in terms of clinching the title with 1 round to go. And, you know, the run of victories has gotten the big points, Greg, but I still harp back to the early rounds of the championship where he was having technical issues, but soldiered on and used his experience to bring the car home. And he's never finished outside the top 4 all season long.
Scoring points is how you win a championship. And he's been an absolute master of that. I think it's important to point out that DXDT helps bring the car to the tracks. But once that car is unloaded into the paddock, it's Kevin, it's his wife Sharon, and maybe a friend or two that work in the car. Kevin, an engineer and a test driver for Honda, not HPD, for Honda, Honda Research. And he does all the work in that car. And they've been taking that car from the start of the season when it had some of those little problems for a new car, and they've worked through it, and boy, have they come good here at the end as we take a look at the results there. And you can see Herbert, Moses, and Gonzalez. And for CJ, he's got to be just elated here. Olivia Askew, a couple of times she had to fight back after moments here. And then Pombo, Grahovic, Schwartz. You look at the touring car division, but it's James Clay sitting down there in that 8th spot with Grahovic in second. It's going to keep that championship mighty interesting going into tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Clay would have to have some drama, but
yes,
as we could see,
it
getting these 3 cars mixing together around this Indianapolis road course is not the easiest thing to survive.
And then we move to the TCA category now, 16th overall. Boehm with the win over Pombo, Gronke, Tyler Gonzalez in 4th, and then Newcomb, Jonathan Newcomb rounding out the top 5. But again, Caleb Bacon from dead last in the grid up into 6th. That was a great run. Powell showing great speed as well. Forbush, Clay Williams, and Peichel. And sorry to see that issue for Max Peichel, but great to have him in the championship as he makes his debut here. He's got a lot of experience in open wheel machines. In 2017, ran some races in the Formula 4 US Championship with Jay Howard Racing. So he's got some experience, but making a debut in tin tops, as it were. Let's head down and hear from Ryan Marine.
Yeah, we got our overall winner here, Tristan Herbert in this New German Performance Audi. This program, in part, is here to show the strength of this Audi platform. We haven't seen you much this year, but when we have, you've been at the front, and now you're in victory lane.
Yeah, you know, COVID, it's been a crazy year for everything, and, you know, not being at the track to support my customers has been difficult. You know, my engineering staff is still there, but, you know, to be able to come out here and show the you know, how well the DSG car still is competitive. You put somebody in the car, you know, I'm by no means a professional full-time driver, but it just goes to show what kind of car we put on the grid, and that anybody can get in this car and anybody can go out and win. For sure, there was some attrition today, and I feel really bad for those guys that, you know, most likely won't make it tomorrow. But hey, man, a win's a win, and I'll take it.
And you were telling me with CJ in your mirror, that was bringing back some memories, right? You guys go back a ways.
It was, man. You know, like, I've never actually raced against him, but we're both from the same SCCA area in Virginia in the Mid-Atlantic. And, you know, I saw him in my mirrors, and I knew he was just hunting me down. He does what you're supposed to do. You find the driver's weakness, and he was hitting those points. And I was like, I kept radioing my guys, how many more laps? How many more laps? Where's the white? Where's the white? So I was happy to hold him off.
Great performance today.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, those smiles say it all. What an absolutely remarkable day for New German's performance and for Tristan Herbert. And he's a busy man in a lot of ways, as he said. But you know, if you're a driver, that's the special stuff for you. And you know, to come out here and get a win like this, Cal, that's big.
Yeah, it really is. It makes a statement, and it would be great to see more customer racing with the Audi brand for next year. I think TCR is just getting ready to explode. I think everyone's been figuring it out. We lost the FCP Euro guys who won the championship last year due to the COVID situation in their business model. So wait and see if they come back next year. But I think all of the pieces in place, a lot of manufacturers represented, and all have the ability to win, it seems.
Absolutely. And speaking of winning, Ryan's got the winner of TC, a Pombo.
Yes, and it's Matt Pombo who brings it home for LA Honda World. What a wild start, first of all. You had to survive that. And from there, was it about management?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, first off, like Honda and Victory Lane at Indy, it's like Kismet. I think HPD Honda and Victory Lane at Indianapolis, like, come on, this is like a dream. But yeah, it was wild today. I mean, the start, honestly, there was a bunch of checking up, and I happened to just time it perfect, and I like got everybody down the front straight. I can't thank Lewis at LAP, you know, Mario, LA Honda World, you know, Mike Lamara, you know, everybody that put this deal together. Lou, get in here. You know, these guys work tirelessly at the shop. I mean, it's unreal what they do. So, you know, it's one of those deals where I think it's teamwork. You know, I'm kind of the monkey behind the wheel. So they built me a good car. We've been working on it since COTA, and we're making progress. So you want to come win TC, call Lou at LAP and get yourself a Honda. We're ready to roll.
Congratulations. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, that's a couple of programs we've heard from that are in this to show what these cars are capable of, and they're still developing that Honda. So absolutely great run there. And so Matt doing a nice job. When you take a look at the points, here's the scenario, and that margin between Clay and Grahovic was a lot bigger coming in.
Yeah, it really was. It's really tightened things down a little bit. And Toby Grahovic doing what he needs to do, keep getting the big points, and hope that James Clay runs into issues that he did there. That little schmozzle down in turn one will have him not enjoying his dinner tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, good point. Absolutely. Let's get back down to Ryan, who's with a guy who now can say he's a champion at Indy as well.
Yeah, he likes to hear that. He's asking me if he's clinched, and I tell him, don't ever trust my math. All my math teachers along the way can attest to that. But our guys in the booth, they say you've won. That's good enough for me. Not just a win here in this race, but also the championship. A dream season for you?
It's more than that. Just to be here was a dream season, and then to start pulling out some wins and podiums made it even better, and then to be able to pull it together season long to clinch it one race early, it's honestly, it doesn't feel real. I'm an engineer. I took a ton of math classes, and still I don't believe the math right now, so just absolutely thrilled.
I understand there was maybe some unfinished business at this track dating back to the runoffs a few years ago.
That's right. I've won the runoffs 4 out of the last 5 years, and the one that got away was Indy, and to be able to win the race here and that it clinched the championship at the same time really just finally puts a period on Indy. So yeah, it's just a dream come true.
You can hear the emotion in Kevin's voice. Congratulations on a fairy tale season.
Thank you.
Yeah, it truly is. As I said, at Indy in 2017, a qualified outside front row, and everybody thought, all right, he's probably going to be the guy here, and then an early DNF with a car that they built up in the winter. And I think that maybe
they went through and developed that car, then he wins 2 championships at the runoffs. Well, that same type of motivation, I guess, to improve the other machine, paying off big for him here. And there is a look at the points here. Bowen, Mejia, Gonzalez, and Pombo, and then Newcomb.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, the gap there at the top is enough for Kevin to seal the deal. It was a tremendous season that he's put together. Very emotional to win here. This is a bucket list racetrack for everyone to come to, and to win is just something you'll talk about forever.
Yep, absolutely. And you just look at this venue, and it's pretty special for sure. And for this championship, of course, we have another race unfolding tomorrow. That will be the season finale, but plenty of drama in this one. And some of the highlights, and that was maybe the big moment here, as Mejia got way up on the bike. Car came down, something let go. And then for Roy Block, a tire let go after early contact, no doubt cut it. And then this moment right near the end by Smithson.
Yeah, just missed a big commitment there down to the inside of turn 1. Takes out Tim Lewis Jr. That was a shame. I have to feel that someone was amiss with his braking system for that to occur, but you can see there Tim Lewis Jr. very upset.
And then just some immensely close quarters racing, and there you can see moment for Chandler Hull riding, getting a little wide and looping it in this touring car category close. Now watch right here with Clay, got through there. I think he got that curve with just a little too much speed, Cal.
He did, and may have glanced his right rear fender with the other BMW, just turned him and pivoted him around. Let's take another look at it here.
Well, and that was the 37, that was the contact late. And then some more cars having a moment here. Iglesias and Clay Williams. Iglesias here in the number 8. But then the checker flag coming out. CJ Moses so close. 0.28 of a second. But he couldn't quite get it done. And Herbert gets the win. And just a remarkable performance as well. And then the 73 LAP Honda World. Entry of Matt Pombo winning in the TC category. And Kevin Boehm winning and clinching the title in TCA. What a great day of racing here at Indy in the touring car divisions. We get to do it all again tomorrow. For Cal and for Ryan Marine, I'm Greg Creamer. We'll see you tomorrow.